The crowds who showed up in Winter Park on short notice for a Tea Party Express bus tour to rally Florida voters were smaller than they were a couple of years ago. That's when passionate Tea Party members helped usher in a powerful, fiscally conservative presence in the U.S. Congress.
Whoever that candidate may be, stay engaged.
They were enough to give Republicans control of the House. Since then, the movement's reputation has lost popularity, especially among independent and moderate voters, who are increasingly the key to electoral success. Even so, conservative voters, identified with the Tea Party or not, are very much on the minds of the presidential candidates scanning the Sunshine State right now for votes.
We have to have a conservative. Otherwise, we're going to be as frustrated with the Republican as we were with the Democrat. Please just try to convince your friends. The only effective, practical, conservative vote on Tuesday is for Newt Gingrich, because that's just a fact. I need your help. Thank you very, very much.
I'm convinced that if we have leaders that will draw on the patriotism of the American people, which is deep and abiding, and if we'll turn to the principles that made us great, again, that we'll overcome those challenges and keep America the shining city on a hill Ronald Reagan spoke of. And I intend to be one of those leaders with your help.
While 2/3 of Florida voters say they are conservative, the issues that matter most to them differ greatly, from cutting government spending to promoting religious values.
We're not going away.
Despite Mitt Romney's double-digit lead in all the polls, Amy Kramer said over the weekend she sees signs of Tea Party members coalescing around Gingrich.
They want somebody who's going to fight back and stand up and say that we cannot continue down this path.
Former corporate executive and Tea Party founder Jack Timon, however, believes Romney is the likely nominee and worries that Christian conservatives may not climb on board if that happens.
That's the group I worry most about, because they have a tendency to stay away sometimes if they don't like a candidate. And because they are, I would say, more single issue or more driven by the social and moral issues than they are about the economy or even about wars and so forth. Romney is going to have a huge challenge to somehow excite them and bring them on.
Romney's spokesman, Eric Fernstrom, says the campaign believes this gap can be bridged.
People are going to be looking for somebody who, while they may not share their exact faith, is a person of strong values. And so long as the president shares values with the evangelical community, I think that's something that they can accept.
Meanwhile, Romney's appeal to voters here is largely practical, and that's enough to satisfy many of the party faithful, who say their main concerns are not ideological.
I just appreciate his experience and knowledge. I wish he were a tad more conservative, but I'll live with his conservatism the way it is. I think he will become more conservative after the election. When he gets into the White House, I think he'll show his real conservative colors.
This idea that conservative values need to get back to the White House, how much is that a factor in your vote?
That is. But I tell you, the economy, we are so in debt. I'm thinking of our grandchildren. We have 8 grandchildren. Is it 15 or 17 trillion? The T's just get me. The M's have gone, the millions and the billions. It's now the T's. We've got to stop spending. We have to rein in. And I think Romney's the one to do it.
For Kari Moulton, Romney's own family values are enough of a draw to get her vote.
The person who lives closely to how I would like my children to live or values that I uphold would be who I would want to represent me in the White House.
On the other hand, at a forum sponsored by the nonprofit socially conservative group Liberty Counsel, we met voters who don't see Romney as a strong enough pro-life leader.
At this point, he is not someone that I'm considering. As much as he claims to be conservative, I have not seen that from him. And again, this is too important of an election to just give it to the person that is the most persuasive.
Neil Slobo is voting for Newt Gingrich, largely because he worries Romney doesn't offer a conservative enough contrast with the president on issues like health care.
Mitt Romney's position is somewhat compromised by his Massachusetts care problem. So even though I trust him to want to repeal Obamacare, I don't know that he'll be as clear and easily able to do it and easily able to make the case to the American people, because I think Obama does have something over him on that.
Dennis Maher of Winter Park argues Rick Santorum, who had to skip campaigning here this weekend because his young daughter was hospitalized, is the stronger candidate. Maher says if Romney's the nominee, he may vote for President Obama, calculating that keeping Obama in office, he would create a better chance for electing a staunch conservative in 2016.
I think that if Obama serves another 4 years, more people will be inclined to vote for a more conservative candidate. If Romney is in there, then people are going to go right back to the Democrat side in 2 to 4 years and we'll be right back where we started from when Romney's term expires.
Kathy Economidis doesn't go that far. She's leaning Santorum and dismisses Gingrich.
I'm not looking for a perfect candidate, but I am looking for a faithful candidate. Faithful to their marriage, faithful to the Lord, faithful to their commitment in politics, faithful to the decisions they made, not pandering to their audience.
If Romney were the nominee,
I would have to take a step of faith and vote for him anyway.
Jack Timon, who's supporting Santorum, sees a warning sign in voters like these at the church in Winter Park. He believes their hardened positions are partly an outgrowth of negative campaign ads and rhetoric, which have been flying over television, radio, and online, and sees a serious division within the Republican Party and may not be resolved anytime soon.
The problem that I see, particularly in this last 2 months, is we're seeing a Republican campaign where Reagan's 11 commandments are being violated left and right. Thou shalt not attack another Republican. And they aren't attacking policies, they're attacking the person. It's really gotten ugly. And while I believe the voters would like to coalesce around somebody, I don't know how they're going to get unity in the Republican Party, not mind nationwide.
If Romney wins in Florida, the growing view is he will still face a drawn-out challenge to bring conservative voters under his tent in the general election.